today the Biden regime approved the decision to send 1,500 active duty United States troops to the southern border in anticipation of Title 42 ending next week, which is, of course, the COVID era rule that limits the amount of illegal immigrants processed into the country. Now, these troops will serve in mostly administrative and transport roles to help free up Border Patrol and local law enforcement in preparation for the growing group of migrants to come. Now, just how big is this group of migrants? According to Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona, the group already amasses nearly 1 million migrants who intend to flood the border as part of a Mexican drug cartel operation. Watch.
Just got off the phone with a county supervisor from my state, sits right on the border. They just had a briefing with the sector chiefs from San Diego through Yuma to Tucson. And they are told that there's between 700,000 and 1 million people massing south of the border, that when Title 42 goes away, the cartels have planned to overwhelm the system. And so what's going to happen there, Steve, is what they're anticipating. They do not have enough resources to keep them in the detention and processing facilities. They don't have enough personnel. And so when those facilities get full, what's going to happen, and this is real because we've seen things like this in the past under this administration, they're going to just take pictures. They're not even going to do full-on processing. They're going to take pictures. If we're lucky, fingerprints, probably not even that. And then they're going to release them right into the local communities along the border.
Wonderful. But many illegal immigrants aren't waiting until May 11th, and why would they? Despite Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas claiming the border is closed, the border is secure, Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz tweeted out yesterday, in the past 72 hours, they had 22,220 apprehensions, 806 pounds of methamphetamine, 283 pounds of marijuana, 62 pounds of cocaine, 2 sex offenders, 1 murderer, and 1 gang member, all in just 3 days. And although 22,000 apprehensions may sound like a lot, and it is, that number likely pales in comparison to the immigrants who were not apprehended and processed at the border, who just snuck right on through. The streets of El Paso, Texas look like a third world country already, with illegal immigrants setting up homeless camps and packed in like sardines, sleeping in the streets, draining the city's already spread thin resources. No, this is not El Salvador or Honduras or another third world country you are seeing right now. This is here in America and coming very soon to a city near you. Now, call me crazy, but if the border was already secure, as our officials have told us over and over and over again, why would we need additional troops to help secure it? And if the border was already secure, how are all these people getting in? And if the border was already secure, then how did that man in Cleveland, Texas, who just shot and killed an entire family, get deported and cross back into America at least 5 times? Of course, any reasonable person understands that the border is not secure and has not been secure since day one of the Biden regime. We are run by a bunch of liars and criminals, and the American citizens are going to see the very real and devastating consequences of an open border for generations to come. It will not be pleasant. Here to discuss this and more, we have Stu Burguiere, host of Stu Does America, and Pat Gray, host of Pat Gray Unleashed. No, don't check your calendars. It's not Thursday. It is Tuesday, or did we just have Pat and Stu Day on a different day this week? This is, it's fascinating because you feel like we've been in a border crisis for a very long time now, and the Biden administration has refused to acknowledge it. How bad must it be for them to be like, all right, I guess we're sending 1,500 troops?
Really, really bad. And they know it's really, really bad. And they realize this is the type of thing they have no ability to control. And it's, it's going to be devastating to that area and really the whole country. I mean, you mentioned the person in Cleveland, Texas, who wound up murdering this family execution style just the other day. And every report said the same thing, that he's been deported 5 times. And that is not a sentence that should ever be spoken. Mm-hmm. If you're deported 1 time and you come back in, you don't get another chance to be deported again. You get thrown in prison and you remain there for a very long time. At the very least, it is. But unfortunately, our policy is we just keep releasing these people. They keep coming across. And this whole debate about the local issue here was about, Democrats wanted to make it about guns. But if you're not guarding the border. Like, this person could have just walked across with an AR-15 from Mexico and no one would have noticed. What good would it have done if we got all the guns here off the streets, if you're going to leave the border open and let people walk across with guns of their own? It creates so many problems. It's devastated so many families. It does a lot of damage to the economy. And it just sends the signal to the rest of the world. It's a lawless nation. Mm-hmm. And if that's what we want to project to the rest of the world, this is a great path to do it. This Title 42 going away is the thing we've been talking about and waiting for since Joe Biden became president. To his credit, he left it in place without getting it off the books immediately. But we knew this day was coming. Everybody on his left flank has been saying that he has to do it, and now he's going to do it. And honestly, it's going to be something I think we've never seen before. I mean, we've seen border crisis before. We've seen that happen many, many times. And honestly, we've been, I would argue, in an ongoing crisis for the past couple of years here. This is a whole new level, and this is not something that we're used to taking care of, and we certainly have no ability to actually handle it.
I mean, just to put in perspective, with Title 42 still in place, we are already, there's like record number of apprehensions, of gotaways, of all of these numbers, record numbers every single month from what I've seen. I can't remember a month where they haven't gone, well, this is a new record. Well, this is a new record. It just gets more and more and more. That's before Title 42 is even expired. It's just going to get worse.
And yet, yesterday, Karine Jean-Pierre said that they had reduced illegal crossings by 90%.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, absolutely did. 90%. That's how good the Biden administration has been the last few years. I mean, can you...
Are you sure this is her? Or was this her from St. Patrick's Day? I think this is the clip from her when she said that. It was on St. Patrick's Day.
It was on St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, because if you look at the video, you can see. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, right. Oh, yeah, the green. Yeah, very nice.
Even with the weird...
Very nice.
It's a weird combo, right?
Odd combo. Very odd combo.
She's never repeated an outfit, but she should definitely not repeat this one.
This is the one we're asking her, please don't repeat. Okay, so Control Room says that they have that clip that you're referencing, Pat. Let's watch.
He has tools that he's used to make sure that we do this. We actually deal with the immigration system in a humane way, and in a way that is that actually deals with what we're seeing at the border. And that's why you've seen the parolee program be so successful. It has when it comes to illegal migration, you've seen it come down by more than 90%, and that's because of the actions that the president has taken.
So at least 91%?
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
And here we are being critical.
I know. What do we want?
What do we expect?
Every single person stopped? No. That's not going to happen.
Well, first of all, yes. Okay. Yes, that's what we want. But yeah, that's amazing. I mean, has there ever been a more out of touch statistic uttered? I mean, look, we've had a lot of presidents that say a lot of things. A lot of spokespeople will say a lot of stuff. That's incredible. We're in the exact opposite position. She's saying it's down 90%? Like, it's up every single month. It's a record every month. And she says it's down 90%. Incredible.
I've never seen the footage from El Paso. Have you seen that before?
No.
That is
devastating.
Astounding.
It looks...
You said it looks like El Salvador. El Salvador is doing much better than that.
Oh, yeah.
Much better than that right now.
I mean, truly. And
look at that.
There's nowhere for them to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Home?
Well,
how about home?
I would love it if they would go home. And you remember, Biden went to the border, went to El Paso, and they cleaned up the streets for the, for the optics of it. I think they're at a point now where there's
they couldn't clean that up.
You can't clean that up. Where do they go?
No.
Where do you put them?
What are you gonna do?
There's no hiding that. That's what it looks like now. Where are the other ones going to go? Right? Like, this is a very real question. It's not a rhetorical. Like, where are they going to go? There will not be space in El Paso. Are they going to have buses lined up? Are they busing them here? I sure as hell hope not. But, I mean, you have to imagine that they do understand. Look, they're very incompetent. I don't mean to downplay their, incompetency. But, like, you have to believe that they have some sort of a plan other than send these troops. Because remember, I said the troops are not there to enforce the law and send them back. They're just there to help alleviate the Border Patrol processing all of these people. right? Like they're not going to like go stand in a line with all their guns and prevent people from coming through.
You're not going to have guns at the border. They won't do that. They absolutely will not do that.
I think too, like one of the big issues is it's not border management as much as it's internal enforcement, right? Like we capture people in Ohio, right? And we don't do anything about it. We constantly capture these people, then release them inside the country. There's all these sanctuary cities and sanctuary states at this point that don't care about this problem at all. So you're incentivizing people to come. You get past that the border is, that's a challenge, but not one that they can't handle. And then you're inside, and once you're inside, we treat it as less than a speeding ticket. So why wouldn't they come? It's hard. It's in some ways hard to blame them, although I still would like them to avoid illegal activity. But we don't take it seriously.
Yeah,
it's true.
I want to get back to Karine Jean-Pierre for a second. Is it impressive how bad she is while looking at her notes?
Yeah. I love that. Because you can tell when words confuse her when she just starts blinking feverishly. She just blinks like 78 times a second while she's looking down.
Yeah.
It is very, very strange. And you're right. Like we were talking about this off the air the other day. Like she's been doing this for a while, right? Like this is not getting better. Like
a year or more, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And she's just reading and reading and reading and reading. And even this was an attempt at
Look at her eyes.
Look at her eyes. They're just blinking like it's a. Look at that. How many blinks is that? Because she has no concept what she's talking about. These are her tells, and I really do find it remarkable because she'll read 3 or 4 paragraphs consecutively. Like this is not. We don't need a human being to do this job if that's what you're going to do. Just put up the document. I kept saying.
AI.
I was thinking Siri would be good because you can just Siri will read you. Like if you happen to be someone who's blind, you can put something on your phone and you can like listen and it will read you the document. It's like one of their accessibility settings. It will just read you the document. Let's just put the phone up there because why if she's just going to read to us every day? Why not just hire an iPhone and then you don't have to pay for the wardrobe, which is bigger.
$170,000 or whatever they're paying her.
Well, and the wardrobe, which is bigger than our military budget.
Yeah.
Our current military budget is about half of what Karine Jean-Pierre's wardrobe is. And that's a little known fact, but it's true. I've checked it.
So just to put things in perspective here with the border, we previously did have a president who wanted to build a wall and secure the border. And Joe Biden has blown through $50 billion of taxpayer dollars on consulting firms, which is, just for the record, 3 times as much money as former President Donald Trump had allotted to spend to build the border wall before, of course, it was axed by the current regime. 3 times as much on consulting firms while allowing this open border crisis to happen. Lovely. Awesome.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.